Hello there everyone, my name is Crazy Caleb, and today I thought I'd do things a little bit differently. Since there are a lot of modules on the repo that don't have tutorials, I figured I'd take a step back and I'd take a look at some of the easier variants. So we're going to go through a series of different tutorials throughout these next few videos that I plan on doing that are going to cover a series of easy modules that will be combined into a series of different videos. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over 5 different modules. We're going to be going over Base 1, Anti-Stress, Numpath, Mirror, and our favorite boy, Logging. So let's get into this. I'm going to start with Base 1. So these modules only really need a couple of examples for me to do, so that's why I'm only doing 2 per example and 1 for just logging. Just because it's going to be much easier to do than me explaining how to do Base 1, do 3 examples, then do Numpath, and each of them being separate videos, I think it's just a waste of time, and I think that it's better if I cover them all together. So I will leave time marks for you in each video, and you can essentially use these as a resource. These tutorials are created for the sole purpose of a resource, and these will be able to get you to one of these 5 modules that are present on this tutorial, because there is that repo option that we can use, our lovely repo option, of which it has the tutorial videos on the left side. So without further ado, as you can see, these tutorial videos have tutorials in them. So if we happen to land on one of these, this is what we're going to be doing. So starting off with Base 1. So with Base 1, all you simply need to do is, we have a display up in the top here, and all we need to do is we need to count the amount of 1s that actually appear in the top display. It's simply converting from base 1 to base 10, and it simply tells you to find a power of 1 that works, and we're going to simply cry about it. Because for those of you who are familiar with the actual terminology of how base 10 works, base 10 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like so. And like, for example, you have 95, which, if you actually break this apart, I'm going to get a little technical here, is simply 9, excuse me, it's 10 to the power of 1, and then 10 to the power of 0. 10 to the power of 1 is simply 10, and what we would do is we multiply this by 9 to get us 90, and then 10 to the power of 0 is 1, and then what we would do is multiply 1 times 5, and that would get us a 5, which will get us 95 in base 10. That's the way that works. Now, likewise with base 1 to base 10, all you simply need to do is you need to figure out how many times 1 goes into the amount of 1s that are present in here, which, as we can see here, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 is our answer. And just like that, it's pretty straightforward. Likewise with this one, it's the exact same example, 5. It will always be in the range of 1 through 9, and you'll never have to press the question mark. The question mark one, I don't think that even is possible unless there's like some unicorn that pops up, but that's the way that this module works. Next up, let's head on over to Anti-Stress. Anti-Stress is a little bit of a fun one, because it actually is a little bit of a nice tool on the ROM. So once the lights turn back on, we'll take a look at it. So this is the way the module looks, and what we have to do is, there's actually a pretty simple solving process to it. However, there's a nice little tool, a nice little feature of it, which allows you to essentially play a series of mini-games with no strike or consequences. So we are allowed to essentially do some button presses or flipping a switch. We can go back with the exclamation mark. We're allowed to use turnable dials, which are essentially meant to just sort of provide a stress-free experience. Then we have sorting colors. You ever feel like doing this? We can do that. So we can like do, let's do lightest to darkest. So you're the lightest, then you're probably second. You're definitely last. You're probably next. And there you go. And it's just another little mini game that gives it. So there's that little fun tool. Next up is going to be, we can hit the cycle button to cycle through the different colors of which we can use. However, I'm going to note down the current color that we're at right now because that's going to be important. And as you can see, it cycles through a series of different colors. So let's get back to the original one that we had, which is that magenta color right here. And then if we hit the exclamation mark one more time, we have a series of 3 different options. We have balloon, which if we hold it down, we can hold down the button and it'll simply raise a balloon. We have pixel painting, which is wave tapping, so we can select a color, for example. And I can simply go all over the place. And likewise, this is a clear button. Yellow, we can do this. Just a nice, easy way of stressing. And library, ironically enough, you can read a series of different books here, such as 1984, The Raven, The One Who Walks Away from Omelis, The Bells, Moby Dick, Fahrenheit 451, and everyone's favorite, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And we can simply select this, and we actually start reading the actual book. First of all, I want to get something straight. This is a journal, not a diary. I know what it says on the cover, but when Mom went out to buy this thing, I specifically said to make sure that it didn't say diary on it. So don't expect me to be all dear diary this and dear diary that. All I need is for some jerk to catch me carrying this thing around and get the wrong idea. You get the point. And the last bit is under construction. That's just simply there as a little feature. So how exactly do we solve this module? And one thing that is important is that the minigame still can be played after the module is solved. The module solving process is actually pretty simple. So we're going to take the initial color of the buttons and the last digit of the serial number in the table below to get a solution digit. So our last digit of the serial number, as we can see up here, is a 6. And our initial color was this magenta color. So we're going to simply press we're going to press the solve the module button when the last digit of the timer is the number given from the table and instructions below. So we're going to press it when the last digit is a 0. And the module is solved. And as you can see, it's still interactable after it's solved to give you the stress-free experience, and that's pretty much how this module works. Very simple module, and that's really all there is to it. I would advise you to get the module solved if you're doing this on a challenge bomb. I would advise you to get those modules solved first, and then you can simply just swap the colors around, and it just makes the experience a lot more easier. Next up, let's take a look at Numpath. So this is the way the module looks, and we have a different color and a number in the center here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take each serial number digit in order, and if any of these are zeros, interpret them as ones. We're going to use the color of the display number to obtain a 3x3 grid. So our color right now is purple. So this is the grid that we're going to be looking at here, and we're going to begin in the cell whose number is on the display, right here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to navigate to each of the digits using the directional buttons in our serial number. So we actually have a 66, which happens to be the exact same number. However, what we would normally do is we would have, like, for example, 681, and we would have to navigate through these guys in order. Keep that in mind. So if we had 681 in our serial number as our numbers here, we'd have to go to 6, then to 8, then to 1. However, in this case, we only have to go to 6, since if duplicates do not apply, or duplicates do apply, however, they are not separated from each other, so let's keep that in mind. And simply what we're going to do is we're going to move using the up, left, right, down arrow directions that we have here, and we're simply going to not move off an edge because moving off an edge will incur a strike and reset your position. So to get from 2 in the purple grid to 6, all we simply need to do is a right up or upright, and just like that is a solved module. Now, likewise with green, we're going to be moving from in the green maze to the 6, which is simply going to be a right, like so. And that's the way that this module works. Pretty straightforward. Just remember that it's going to be taking each serial number digit in order. Keep that in mind. Alright, now let's get logging out of the way. Logging is basically for all you cheating little buggers out there. Note that you'll never ever use this on any bomb ever, because this is cheating. This is literally the definition of cheating. If we take a look at the logging for base 1, it would simply give us the logging of which I have done. Screen is 11111, which is base 1 and 5. And we pressed 5, cool, because we already solved that module. It is a module that keeps up to date with the actual logging. So for example, if I were to press, let's say if I struck somewhere, let's say bishop, let's say mirror, I know how this module works, yada yada. Let's say if we happen to strike somewhere, so what was bishop? One written below it. So if we happen to strike, what we would take a look at is we would go into mirror, and this was incorrect strike. Keeps you up to date. Now, how exactly do you solve this? Because you see I have this little status light here. All we simply need to do is we need to go to the next page, and then we simply need to go off the next page and simply loop around to the front. And you get the Sans Undertale theme really sped up because this thing is a whole meme. So, back to what I was doing. So, let's take a look at mirrors. Mirrors is the last module that we're going to be taking a look at. That's actually kind of a bit of a serious one. So what we're going to do for this one down here, I'm going to load up another one after this, is we're going to be noting down the handwriting of the font that this word is written in. However, we're not going to note down the word quite yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look, because once we select the module, that's when it goes to write a word on the mirror. So let's do that. So we need to note down this font, not the word. We wait for a couple seconds, it'll disappear, and 3 new words will be written here. Now, we need to find the one that has the handwritten font, that has the same font as the one before. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this word here. Now, we need to figure out actually which word we're going to submit, because it might not be the current display right now. So let's search up impish. Impish is our word. So if the word is in this table, we're going to press the word above the one written by the original ghost, wrapping around. So this was the word that was written by the original ghost. We're going to wrap around up to get us to plasma, and this is what we're going to select to solve the module. Like that is a solved module. Now, this one was zygote. This one, I believe, was zygote text. And if we happen to, this is going to be one below, so it should be nugget. Yeah. And just like that is a solved module. Let's do one more mirror example, and I want to make sure that I get that covered. And otherwise, that's going to be it for today. So yeah, it's just going to be this. This is going to be the way that I'm going to do things. It's going to be me just doing a series of easy modules per video, kind of just to catch up on the repo, because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't have tutorial on, and I know people have been requesting it, because they're just surprised how little tutorials there are. So I'm going to do the job, and I'm going to get a lot of these guys done. Let's take a look at one more. So let's pop bomb. Let's not select it quite yet, because we want to be able to see the actual text. Note that it doesn't pop up when you hover over it. All we simply need to do is we simply need to select the module. Okay, that's a very specific text. I don't think we'll mix that one up. It's okay, so it's going to be this guy. I believe that says larynx. So LARYNX. All right, yep, that's a word. So now with this word, so it's going to be in this table. We're going to press the word below the one written by the original ghost. So the original ghost was larynx. We're going to press the one below it, looping around, of course, and we're going to be selecting a tomboy. And just like that is a solved module. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.